Hey everyone, Tim Schofield here. And OnePlus is really building out their ecosystem with phones. They've got their earbuds, but now they have a new tablet. This is the OnePlus Pad. The OnePlus Pad is an Android tablet with an 11.6-inch display, and that display goes all the way up to a 144 hertz refresh rate. It's also powered by the MediaTek Dimensity 9000 processor. So in this video, we're gonna dive into the OnePlus Pad, but also a couple accessories that you can get with the pad, including the magnetic keyboard. Looks kind of familiar if you ask me. And then the OnePlus Stylo, just a stylus to use with both of these. We'll open these and test them out, of course. So let's dive into it. Take a quick look what comes in the box of the OnePlus Pad and get some hands-on. And I will be doing a follow-up video in just a little bit as well, diving a little bit further into the OnePlus Pad. So be sure to subscribe so you're notified when that goes live. Let's get started. Here's the new OnePlus Pad, which, by the way, starts at $479, so very competitive pricing for a tablet with these specs. Opening it up right away, we do get our tablet. I'm gonna set that to the side, continue through. Standard safety guide, quick start guide, and a membership card for their Red Cable Club. Speaking of red cables, OnePlus's signature charger with USB Type-A to USB Type-C, and it does include a charging brick at 67 watts via USB Type-A. There's all the stats on the charging brick. On to what you came to see, the pad from OnePlus. Let's open up this paper here. Whatever, we're just gonna rip it, dive into it. Ooh, I do like this color. I've seen it before at Mobile World Congress, but it is really clean. It's kind of a deeper green than you would expect, which I am a big fan of. And it has, I think it was Asus had laptops. One of my first laptops, not one of my first, but a laptop I owned had something very similar to this design on the back. Anyways, let's boot up our pad, and while it turns on, well, let's take a closer look at the hardware and what you get. On the left side, you have your power button 2 of your 4 speakers, and along the bottom, just some connectors, and then moving along on the right side are your other 2 speakers, plus your USB Type-C port for charging, and a microphone. At the top, interesting design. It doesn't stay rounded. It actually sort of cuts down just a little bit, and it's more flat than the bottom is. And moving along, you've got another microphone there and your volume rockers. I believe this is an antenna right here. Quick close-up of that color and design. Moving along towards the middle, you do get a OnePlus logo, and right above that in the center is our 13 megapixel rear camera. Anyways, I'm going to run through the startup process and talk about anything noteworthy. This tablet doesn't have a fingerprint scanner, so you get 2 options, password or face. Let's set up our face unlock. Let's hit continue and position our face in the circle. That was almost instant. That was kind of crazy how fast that was. I'm glad I didn't miss it. Hopefully you saw that on camera. That was really cool to see. Hopefully it's accurate. We'll test it out in just a second. Again, join the Red Cable Club. You do get the option between buttons and gestures, and I'm always really torn with a tablet. Drop a comment. Let me know if you go with gestures or buttons. When it comes to a tablet, I totally understand if you choose one or the other. And we are all set up and ready to go. And this is an 11.61-inch IPS LCD display with a 2800 by 2000 resolution. Not only that, I can tell it's enabled by default. You have a 144 hertz refresh rate. So this looks really smooth. I do like the color reproduction. Granted, I would have preferred OLED, but you know, having an IPS panel isn't all that bad. Let's go ahead and go into display, double check, make sure it is actually on screen refresh rate. Yes, so it's set to high. It will change depending on the content that is shown. You can set it down to 60 hertz if you want to save some battery life. Also, I'd like to point out that this is an 8 megapixel front-facing camera right here in the bezel. I also like how when you swipe down, you get both your widgets and your notifications, which, you know, some you have to go from the left or right side depending on the content you want shown. Also pretty interesting, this is a 7:5 aspect ratio, so not quite 16:9, but you do have a difference. It's not completely square, so you do actually have a difference between horizontal and vertical content. Very quickly, before we open up our keyboard and our pen, I'm going to open up the camera app, and we're just going to snap a couple quick pictures. Boom. There we go. Okay, shutter speed a little delayed, not too bad though, at least when it's trying to focus very quickly. and then it waits till it's focused and then snaps it if you're moving as fast as I am. You do have a night mode video. You can shoot all the way up to 4K 30 frames per second, going into more, slow-mo, panorama, and your time lapse. One more thing, let's test out that face unlock. So I'm gonna press the power button and notice that padlock unlocked almost instantly. That was really fast. Trying it once more, there we go. So I love to see that. Might not need a fingerprint scanner with that fast of a face unlock. Okay, quickly, let's grab our keyboard, open it up, and our stylus. This keyboard has a nice color to it, also doubles as a case, so it will also protect your pad. And check it out. Actually looks very familiar. Somewhat similar to a keyboard case I've seen in the past. Anyways, this is magnetic, so for the first time, let's grab our pad and line it up, and it should snap to the back. Okay, yeah, it did. So as long as you have it lined up, it will snap to this top half, I should say top third, and snap it in. And it does feel very strong, connected. And then once you go down, those prongs I pointed out at the bottom will line up to set it at an angle for you. So this is the angle it sits at. You can't adjust the angle. And if you want to close it, you just go ahead and do that. And it will sit flat. I promise we'll test more on that in just a second, but let's grab our one. I promise we'll test more on that in just a second, but this is the OnePlus Stylo, and it looks like it's got a magnet in the case. That's really cool. I like that packaging there, and this is just some booklets and info. Not just that, you get an extra tip as well. So this is detachable and you can replace it. And I know earlier I said this was an antenna. I sort of blanked. This is actually a magnet for our stylus. So let's open this up. Point out, this screen does turn on when you open it up, but connecting our stylo to it, it lines up right away like so. The magnet, oh, there you go. So it doesn't go over the side. Oh, that's really strong. That magnet's super strong. I'm not worried. I can almost pick it up. No, not really, but you get the point. It's actually a really strong magnet, and then let's close it, and it fits seamlessly with the keyboard. So that's really nice to see. You can have both, and I'm not worried about this pen flying off. It's actually really strong, so carry it with you, very portable. Now that we're all officially set up, let's unlock our pad. And I want to point out, if you do have a OnePlus device, there is some coordination between the two. You can actually have hotspot data sharing on your phone, clipboard sharing, calls, messages, notifications sync on the pad, and this is in the future. Unfortunately, there's an update coming in June to support that, and that's with a OnePlus device. The pad uses Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth 5.3. This pen actually connects via Bluetooth and will charge through the pad. So you'll see 83% when it is connected. Also, let's try and connect our OnePlus Buds here. I did put it in pairing mode. So let's press and hold the button here to put it in pairing mode. There we go. And because it was connected to my phone actually. So it should pop up on our tablet. There it is, or I should say on our pad, and you can connect it. There we go. So Buds Pro 2 are now connected. I got the whole ecosystem here. Check out all that green. Looking at the keyboard, there is no escape key. There's various functions up towards the top, like volume. If you want to go to your recent apps or just back home, you can do so. You can use the trackpad here to scroll, and you'll see swipe between pages. There's a lot of different shortcuts you can use. There's also an assistant button to open the Google Assistant quickly. Now let's dive into settings, check some more out. If we scroll down, you can go to wallpaper and style and really customize your tablet to your liking. Keep going, and I'd like to go to additional settings to start, because that's where stylus is, where you can double tap the stylus and set a specific gesture. You can switch between the tool and the eraser, switch between current tool and the last used one, show the color palette, or off. And that's just a quick double tap while you are writing in any sort of notes app or coloring. There's also an option for a screen off note when the always on display is on, to tap the screen with the stylus to start writing a quick note. That's kind of a neat feature. And the touchpad here. So our touchpad, you can switch between apps. You can swipe down, take a screenshot, swipe up to go home. So 3 fingers will swap back and forth between apps. That's really simple. I wanted to actually show all of the other ones here. Back to the previous app, just tap with 3 fingers, which will go back. Just a quick back gesture. So it'll take a little bit of time to get used to which one does which, but very easy. Quick keyboard firmware update as well. So make sure you do install that. There's also a floating window gesture. Let's try that out. Maybe go into the Chrome app. So here's the browser, and we're gonna use 4 fingers to pinch in, and there we go. It will bring up a floating window so you can, multitask, you can maximize it, you can move it around. I don't know if you can resize these actually. I'm gonna use my finger just to check. Tapping that will go all the way full screen, but I think it's just one size. And if you swipe it over to the side, it will minimize it. So there you go. That's how you kind of throw it off to the side. If you have multiple apps open, it will pop these up. And also there's a bar here on the side, which has some various shortcuts, and you can customize this other bar on the right side. If you are interested, there's a lot of different keyboard shortcuts, taking screenshots, going back to the home screen, all that good stuff. And you can even add shortcuts to apps. So just a heads up there. And finally, let's do a quick keyboard test. Hey everyone. All right, so feels pretty good actually. I don't mind the travel distance, a little bit smaller. I guess it's a full size, but smaller with the enter key and the arrow keys being stacked. Finally, just a quick OnePlus stylo test. So let's open up our pen and just say hi. It does feel very responsive overall. Another pen here, which is pressure sensitive. So the pen is pressure sensitive. You'll see a thicker line here, and then I'm getting lighter and lighter and lighter. So it will depend on how hard you press the screen. Let's try just a highlighter here. Also, let's do that quick shortcut. So double press, and it will switch to the eraser. Very useful. Love to see it. So just wanted to do a quick little test with our pen. You can just pop it up there, and we're good to go. So overall, that's everything I want to talk about for now. I also want to point out when you do close the pad, you can't really just slam it closed because it's not really attached like the iPad's is. It's attached down at the bottom here. So if you try and slam it closed, it kind of disconnects from the back piece. So you kind of have to be cognizant of how you're closing it. So you have to sort of lift it up and float it to the back corner. So just kind of wanted to point that out. It's not as convenient, but it's really not that big of a deal. Anyways, that is everything from me on the all-new OnePlus Pad. I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to subscribe. Another video coming very soon on my full impressions of this, and a lot more coming soon as well. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up, and as always, thanks for watching.